saying, fuck me with the N-word, and, and, like, that's what he'd want me to do. And then, like, after a certain point, he would just grab my shoulders, force me down, on my stomach. He'd be on top of me, and normally when you're having anal sex, you have your legs open because, you have to spread it open so you can accommodate a dick. It's not as if taking a dick up the ass is really that simple. For me, because I'm not loose, there are a lot of guys out there who are as loose as the Grand Canyon. I'm still tight. And so I have to think about it. I have to concentrate. Sometimes I have to drink something. Sometimes I have to smoke something in order to take a dick, because it's especially when you're dealing with like 8 inches, 9 inches. There's a lot of focus that's involved. Unless like you've been broken open, you need to think. And so this guy just forces me down. He's on top of me. He closes my legs. Normally people spread your legs when they fuck you. No, this guy closes my legs, so it's even harder. And he just rammed me into the bed, meaning like I literally almost became a part of the mattress. He was fucking me so hard. And he would make me scream and say, fuck me,
fuck me, nigga.
And yes, and then that's how he would have an orgasm. And then like at that point, he wasn't affectionate. The sex wasn't affectionate. It was just, it was very impersonal. And that's essentially what it was. It was his fantasy. He needed that fantasy to be fulfilled. And then, we had sex a few times, and I thought, okay, first, I'll just say this and get through this, and hopefully this is just a stage. And hopefully then, like, this will develop into something a little more, let's just say, mutual. Because I hated doing it. I didn't like doing it. I hated doing it. Like, for me, it was just, okay, I'll just do it, hoping that then maybe he'd become more affectionate, but no. And so then it became a little more twisted because he would then say, look, I would like to meet at, such and such a location where, people are, having sex, essentially. And I want to do this in public, meaning he wanted an audience. So he would want to meet me in a bathhouse or at a gay porn theater where people are having sex, out in the open. And he would want to do this to me and have me scream and degrade him as he's dominating me.
So you're saying, because I noticed that when we talked privately the other day, that's the word you kept saying, that you felt that you would be degrading him by being in private as well as being in public. And so that just brings 2 other questions I just want to talk to you about and get your mindset on what I'm seeing here, too, and tell me what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think 2 dynamics are going on here. It's like you're saying he wants you to degrade him when you are fucking him in public, and then you are screaming and everybody's watching, fuck me, nigga, and then people are watching. Of course, a lot of them are going to get turned on watching this big black man get this little white man all this dick and this white boy taking all this dick all kind of ways, and he's putting you in pain. So that makes him turn him on all the more because he's making sure you feel this, and it's not always pleasurable. So it's a form of subjugation and humiliation for you as well. Yeah. Even though you call him a big black nigger, it's like what he's doing to your body to me, and he's making you, he's like, yeah, I'm dominating you, white boy. I got power over you, bitch. You're going to bend over, you're going to be my white bitch. You're going to take this dick, and I'm going to force you to apply this black dick in every goddamn hole in your ass. I'm going to squeeze you. I'm going to run it up in you. So obviously he's fucked white boys like this before for him to close your legs. He wants to make this very difficult and very uncomfortable for you and have you in a form of slavery and bondage until he goddamn ejaculates. Or I'm wondering, do you not see it as bondage for you as well because you are a white man and white men are free and they really control this society? So even though you are allowing him to have power, fake power over you, imaginary power, just for him to achieve an ejaculation, in your mind, do you always feel free and no form of slavery or bondage psychologically because you are a white male?
Well, this is a good question because, I've been forced to analyze this, and I discuss this with a lot of friends, meaning this is what this man desires to hear when we're engaged in anal penetration. What is your analysis of this? And many friends would say, well, you really shouldn't think too deeply about it. It's just sex. But then I would think, but desire isn't something that just exists outside of any social boundaries, meaning, desire is also formed by power, and we need to think critically about our desire and why we desire what we desire. So the fact that this man desires to hear a white man of smaller stature, considerably smaller stature than him. This guy could carry me, and for him to ask me to do this, and that the only way he felt he had power over me was to be reminded verbally that, in fact, it was the white man who enjoyed power. Because the fact that he desired power was a product of the white supremacy, which is real in our society, and the fact that he needed that reminder during the act of sex made me realize that although I was submissive, and although I was subordinated physically to him, that, you know, I guess the sadist feels that they have power, but, you know, I think there's also power to be had when one is a masochist, because your submissiveness, you know, attracts them and can almost force them to lose control because you're so submissive and you're so demure, and, you know, it's that you grant them the right to have control, and that conferral of a right of control is one you know, the one who's a masochist, the one who is submissive ultimately has. And so being submissive is a position of power also. So within this particular sex act where he's asking me to denigrate him while he's physically dominating me and literally driving me into a mattress, I think, yes, I had power and then he had the physical power, but the reason why I felt uncomfortable is because the racial structure of the sex mimicked the real, you know, vectors of power that are operative in our racist society.
What do you mean? Like, how did it mimic it based on what you see as a white male?
Well, I mean, let's just deal with reality here. I mean, who monopolizes power and resources in this society?
White people, white males.
Right. I mean, who ultimately determines who is successful in this society?
White males.
Right. I mean, and so, you know, and so there I am ultimately determining whether or not he'll have power over me. It's just the same situation, and that's why I felt uncomfortable, and I would tell him this.
Lord,
meaning,
have mercy.
You know, I don't enjoy doing this, or could we maybe experiment with something else, or will this ever end? And no, because you know, this went on, Alexis, from 2001 through 2007, and then, you know, I moved, and then I'm at work just, you know, maybe a few months ago, and I receive a phone call, and it's him. He somehow found out where I worked online, calls me at work, and tells me, I miss your ass, and I want to fly to where you're living now because I need your ass. Meaning, well, for whatever reason, my ass and the words he asks me to say to him are so powerful that this person is willing to spend money on a plane ticket to fly to get a piece because that's how much he needs it, and apparently he hasn't found anyone else who's willing to say these things to him.
But, you know, I believe that he has done this before because, like you said, you thought he was single, and then you saw some kind of newspaper or something where him and this other white man he's living with. Right.
Yes, I mean, I did. And in the conversation, I discovered that, because I didn't know if he was heterosexual. I didn't know anything about him. I knew his name, and that's about it. And I just assumed, well, maybe he's single, has a girlfriend, maybe he's married. And I discover when he called me after I moved that he was dating someone, another white man, for 5 years. So he's dating this other white man. I'm sure that the sex was probably the same with this other white man. But then, for whatever reason, I guess, I don't know if that white man would take it to the level at which he wanted it taken. So for whatever reason.
Did he look like you? Did the white man look like you?
Somewhat, except I'm thinner.
Okay. So he's
which,
shorter than the
surprised
black guy.
me, because when I saw the photographs, I thought, he's not that thin. And, I thought that was what you needed. Like, you needed something really small and diminutive that you could toss around, push around, control, and so the other person I noticed, like, there were some rolls on him. I mean, and I thought, well, I mean, he's a little heavy. I guess that'd be a little difficult to dominate. But yes, I think one could argue that we are similar. That's what I would say.
But, I wanted to make a comment, too, while I still have it very fresh in my mind about what you said about him feeling like he had power over you, and I think he does like your asshole. He does like the energy and the intensity, and I think he likes the way you submit so well because you're very small, and like you said, even though it was painful, even though he was knocking your bottom out, he was fucking you like he's trying to knock your shit through your fucking stomach. You took that shit.